Hey everyone, welcome to another video on Blender Geometry Nodes. In this video, we will see about curve read nodes related to the length. I release new videos on a weekly basis. Please subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified when I upload a new one. This is Jay from CJ Academy. Let's start. I have my custom workspace setup. I'll share the link in the description. You can take a look. Today we are going to see about the length nodes on the curve read section. So we don't need the cube. Let's bring in the nodes we are going to see today. Curve, read, curve length, curve, read, spline length. Okay. Since these two are handling the length data, we will see it together. Okay. To understand these, we need a couple of curve geometries. Let's bring in the Bezier node. We can bring the spiral. That's also good. Okay. And let's combine these two. Okay. We have a basic setup. Okay. So let's bring in the viewer node also. Because in most cases, the read nodes just give you the data. You will not be able to visualize anywhere, and read nodes help you with it. Let's first see about curve length node. Curve length node takes a curve input but no curve output, but you get the length output. It actually combines all the length data from different curve geometries you have and give you the overall sum output. Sum in the sense the added output. That means, so the main reason why I brought two nodes, two curve nodes. So first let's just see what it has. Okay, and we need a geometry, and let's bring in the same geometry here also. Okay, and you have to visualize it. So yeah, okay, and it doesn't have a geometry input, so you cannot see anything. Let's bring in the same geometry we are using for the curve length node. Yes, you can see now. So it gives you the length output for the overall curve it has. So now it's giving you on both points, but it is just giving the overall length value. Okay, and if you change this input to this, okay, and here also you have to change it, what you get is it is displaying the same value in all the points. So that's the reason why you get so many. And if you want to see this, let's reduce this. Let's see. So this is the overall length is 2.23, but since it has 3 points, it has to show in all the 3 points. Then if you bring it to 32, eventually the length increases, okay, to 18.9566, but it just displaying in all the points. That's the thing. So ignore that it is showing in all the points, but the overall length value is 18 point something. Now this is for curve, spiral, this is for Bezier segment. But it said it will combine both, right? I mean, it will combine all the curves involved. So joint geometry actually creates a new geometry from these two curves, okay? And eventually this node will add the length of these two and give you the added output. Okay, I'll add this. The length is doesn't change because the length source is this. Change the length source also to this, and you see it has added the value of length value of this one and length value of this one. So this is useful to access the overall length value. Also for this type of specific read node, you have to give the curve input. It doesn't work on the context because it needs a curve. Okay, so you have to always plug in the same curve you want to inspect, and then the length output is given. So length output is nothing but float value. See, it has given you the value and you can access it and use it wherever you want. So this is about curve length node. There is one more called spline length node. Spline length is different from the curve length. First aspect is it needs a geometry context. See, it doesn't have an input like this one, so you cannot just add any curve to it. It will always work on the geometry context wherever it is added. So that means if it is added to this context, let's bring in this one instead of that. So that means spiral node, okay. And if you see, it has given the spiral nodes length value, overall length value. And if I add the point count, that is 65. We have only 32 here, but how come 65 is coming? Because 65 is not actually the resolution value, but the number of points in this curve. So if I go for here, yeah, you can already see it here, 65, that's 0 to 64. Okay, so that is the total point count value. So spline length does not give just the length value, but it also gives you the points count. The key difference is curve length will give you the summation of all the length together. Okay, because I'm using two curves here, it is adding together and give you. But spline length node does not add it, but it will give you the individual data of all the splines involved in here. That means here I have two splines. Okay, I'll connect this one here, and you already see I'm actually accessing the point count now. So if you see here, there is a 2 at the center that is actually coming from the, okay, let's go this way. Yeah, so 2 is actually coming for the Bezier segment. Okay, and 65 is coming for the spiral segment. Same way, if you access the length value, you get two data. One is for the spline length and one more is for the spiral length. In case if you add one more here, let's add one more primitive curve, primitive arc. Let's add the arc. So if I add the arc here, you get one more data. Transform this a bit because it's on the same level of Bezier segment. So let's put it a little bit on the z-axis. So you see the value is also coming out of it. So now the Bezier segment has 2 point something length. This spiral has 18 point something length, and the arc has 5.46 length. This is if you access through spline length. If you access it through this, then you get the summation value. That is actually 26 point something. Okay. So spline length gives you the individual data. Same way, point count, if you get point count is 2 for the Bezier segment. For curve it is 65 and for the arc it is the 16. In case of arc it is actually the resolution value. Okay, so these are the two nodes which has a similar properties it is accessing but in a very different way. Each one has its own use. You can use it however it fits in your requirement. Okay, so that's about the spline length and curve length node. If you find this video useful, please like it, share it with your friends. If you have any topics you want me to cover specifically in geometry nodes, please let me know in the comment section. Of course, if you have any questions about this, please feel free to ask in the comments. Please subscribe to my channel. I will see you in another cool video. Thank you. Bye.